Good morning, my friends. This is the Grim Flayer. I hope you're doing as well as I am today. There is breaking news. Important announcement here for you, and if you can read, and if you have read the title of this video, you might already know what that news is, but I'm going to say it here anyway because it is a momentous phrase I'm about to utter, one that is laden, dare I say redolent with meaning. And here it is. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, is going to be banned in Modern. Going to be, not taking effect right this instant, and in other formats as well besides Modern, but this channel cares about Modern. And the ban is happening, it's confirmed, it's happening, let's go. Very, very exciting. And the Wizards has announced this in a very kind of circuitous way. They've buried the lead deeply in this article about a secret lair, the Smitten Super Drop. So let's cut right to the chase, my friends. Let's Control F for good old Uro. There he is. This is in the Showcase Kaldheim Part 1 section of this article, and we are seeing some good old Simic Giants being given the secret lair treatment, and hey, these are some pretty cool printings, I do have to say. If I'm ever elf-balling into a Primeval Titan for some reason, this is going to be the printing I have to reach for, right? Very elven feel, very Avatar of the Forest type feel, but we have Frost Titan, we have Primeval Titan, we have Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, being given the secret lair treatment, and it tells you the contents, it tells you the price point, gives you a little flavor text, all the usual stuff, but there is a note. The note is bolded and italicized. Well, let's read it. It says, "We are planning an upcoming BNR announcement." Good, that is long overdue. In that announcement, we plan to ban Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, and Pioneer, Modern, and Historic. We plan to ban this guy in this format, and in some other formats, but it's there in black and white. We plan to ban Uro in Modern. You see it, right? This is proof. They can't take it back now. Additionally, we are continuing discussions about doing the same in Legacy, while we are working internally on the larger BNR announcement for that week. So again, this will not constitute the entirety of the announcement, one assumes. We wanted to share this information ahead of this sale. So we have some would say unusually consumer-friendly approach, but also just, again, it is a little bit buried, it is a little bit out of the way. Invested players will know about this. I have had people tagging me on Discord, messaging me on Messenger, DMing me on various platforms as soon as this news dropped. Shout out to Bobby from my Discord, who was the first one I heard it from, by the way, but I've heard it from a half dozen people in the 10 minutes after Bobby told me, right? And it's awesome. Thank you all for hitting me up. And fortunately, today is my day off. Usually Wednesdays are my day off during the week, so I'm at home and I'm able to make a video very quickly about it. But so mixed feelings about how Wizards announced this. On the one hand, it's very nice. It would be a horrible, horrible move for them to print the most played creature in, like 4 different formats right now, which is Uro, give him a special high price point, unique printing only for a couple weeks after pre-ordering or whatever it's going to be, to pull out the rug from underneath people with a ban announcement across multiple formats. That would be horrible. So the sooner they can announce their intentions with this type of stuff, the better, and I will give them credit for that. On the other hand, I really burying it halfway down, like 2/3 of the way down in a secret lair article is a little bit weird, especially because the secret lair articles are a dime a dozen. Non-invested players who might not hear this news through other channels are also not necessarily closely reading every single secret lair article, you know what I mean? So it would be nice if they had announced this alongside it in its own article. Maybe they will after I've made this video, or maybe they already have by the time I'm recording. If so, fair enough. If not, it's just another kind of weird but satisfactory ultimately approach from Wizards. They got the important thing right, letting us know ASAP, right? So I can't really complain. And yeah, so that means Uro is banned in Modern, or is going to be. In the upcoming announcement, it doesn't say exactly here when it is. They historically always happen on Mondays in the recent past. Maybe it will be this upcoming Monday, maybe a following one. Either way, Uro's days are numbered. So regarding this ban, my friends, everybody knows who's ever seen any of my content before basically knows that I have long advocated for a ban of Uro plus 1. For many, many moons, it has been Uro plus Field of the Dead or Uro plus Veil of Summer that I have advocated banning as a start. There are also other bans I could certainly see happening, and there is some data that I will show you to reinforce this position, but I wrote on Discord a few days ago because people were talking about Valki, and we do expect something to be done with Valki, but people are uncertain whether it will be an errata to the MDFCs and maybe how they interact with Cascade or a broader errata, or whether Valki could get banned, and then people started asking me in general what else is going to happen, and I said, yeah, I'm not sure. I think some action will absolutely be taken on Valki, and one of two things could happen. That could also be an impetus for them to make more ban list changes, right? Because it is definitely true that it is bad optics, it looks bad, and it's also just bad practice in general for them to have ban list updates too frequently. It looks better even if it's functionally similar. Even if it might be functionally a little bit worse, actually, because things last longer in formats than they otherwise would, but it looks better to have large ban list updates, sweeping changes, rather than whack-a-mole with ban this, ban that every other week. We don't want that, right? They don't want that either, more importantly. So I said, well, maybe the Valki, the obvious need to do something about Valki, will allow them the license to make more sweeping changes, and I think that's what we're going to see. The other alternative, though, the other darker timeline that I feared, is that Uro would have become institutionalized in Modern. Uro would have been maybe leapfrogged by Valki, they just changed Valki, and then Uro doesn't seem so bad in comparison, right? So I was a little bit worried that was going to happen, so that's the first point I wanted to raise. The fear of Uro becoming institutionalized in Modern and in other formats seems to have not come to pass. That is a good thing, because I think the card obviously needs to be banned. The second point of 3 that I'd like to make, or maybe of 4, the second point of 4 that I'd like to make is that we always have to have sympathy for people who have bought in by desire or indeed by pseudo-necessity to these overpowered fire cards only for them to get banned. And we do have to have empathy for people, and we therefore shouldn't gloat about bans necessarily. If somebody you know takes a loss on this, yeah, that is unfortunate for sure. And we also have to hold Wizards accountable for this. This design is their fault. When they design cards that are so overpowered, they become so overplayed, they need to be banned in so many formats. That is a design mistake, especially if they exist for long enough where people start really buying into them. You have the initial rush of buyers, you have the initial flood of packs opened, and then over time, more and more people say, well, can't beat them, join them, right? Or they just decide they want to pick it up for other reasons, and they commit, and then eventually the ban happens. This is just not sustainable. It's not good practice. So I've said some good things about Wizards in this video. That is definitely another point that we need to raise, that, they really do need to rein in this type of design. Now, the third point I'm making here is that the ban for Uro is as slam dunk as it gets in terms of being justifiable. Here is the data using MTG Goldfish. Let's start with Modern. The top creature in the format is Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, and 20% of decks as a 3 or 4 of on average. But is it just a Modern problem? Not at all. In Pioneer, it is even worse. Uro is in 32% of decks played as a 3 to 4 of. And again, this card is legendary, and it's in an historically underpowered color pairing. Like, it is just insane. The fact that a card like this becomes the top creature in any format is a red flag. But we've got 2 for 2. Let's check out Historic. Yep, even worse than Pioneer. Uro is in 36% of decks as in almost always 4 of. A hot 3.7 on average per deck, definitely crazy. But surely Legacy, where all the cards stretching back into the eons of time with a few noteworthy exceptions are able to be seen. This is the Force of Will format. It is the Pyroblast format. It is the Sylvan Library format. What's going on? Well, here's what's going on. Uro dominates it too. 23% of decks, 2.44 per deck. Not as egregious as other ones, but the fact that it is even the top draw in Legacy as far as creatures go is completely insane. The only competitive format that Uro does not overtake is Vintage, and guess who does? It's Tarmogoyf. This is exactly what I mean, guys. This is what I've said a lot lately. We should not be afraid of powerful cards. We should be afraid of powerful cards with very low fail rates. And when you see a lack of very powerful cards, but all the powerful cards do have a very low fail rate, you see a homogenization of the format around Uro and similar cards as we see in Pioneer and Historic, similar cards or cards that supplement Uro's game plan in general, right? Or synergize in some important way with him. But in Vintage, when things are hyper powerful, you can actually play a Tarmogoyf and have a lot of success because Tarmogoyf is efficient. It's efficient, it's high card quality, and Vintage is so fast and so powerful that everything drawing a million cards and gaining a million life isn't necessarily what the game is about, right? So, hey, maybe I should be playing some Vintage. I see Deathrite Shaman here on this list, and I'm getting a little tempted looking at this list, I'm not gonna lie. Looks pretty cool, but anyway, the important data for this purpose of this video is, of course, Modern Uro right up there at the top, and right up there at the top across basically all formats. He's legal and probably a house in Commander too, right? And the fourth and final point I want to make, Uro is banned in Modern, or will be soon. Let's go! Let's go. Super exciting, not gonna lie. Uro's breaking the chains in his artwork here, but we are the ones breaking the chains. We're breaking the shackles in Modern. Things are going to be different, and I hope there are some sweeping changes in here. We need Valki errated. Sorry, I know that he can Jund. I made a video all about it. The blue Valki soup decks are just completely insane, having me absolutely with no desire to play against them or to play in that format right now. We could use some sweeping changes too. Field of the Dead could still go. I still hold out hope for a Veil of Summer ban, or rather I still advocate for one, but my fear is that Veil has become institutionalized. I think that's true. I feared that Uro might have become institutionalized. Veil absolutely has become. They could still surprise me and ban it. No one would be happier to be wrong than me, but I don't expect it. Anyway, we're breaking the chains of this format. Uro's gonna be gone, maybe taking some of his friends with him. Let me know, my friends, what you think, as I know you will in the comments below. Stay tuned to the channel for more Grim gameplay. I will cover also the full extent of the ban list changes when we do get them, and then who knows where Modern goes from here, but I'll be here for it. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.